Hello there, and welcome to Dry Eyed Girlfriend, the podcast where beauty, wellness, and science come together in the most eye opening way. I'm Angela, your advocate, wellness enthusiast, and go to girlfriend for all things dry eye. Sure, there's plenty of science and medical jargon out there, but where is the real talk? I created this show to raise awareness, share practical solutions, and bring you episodes with global experts, holistic health pros, industry insiders, and women just like you who are navigating the same journey. We talk about everything from nutrition and skincare to the most up-to-date science in dry eye. Because when we start connecting the dots between lifestyle and eye health, everything starts to get a whole lot clearer. Let's get into it. I am so excited for today's guest. Today, we are inviting not only one of my dearest friends, but someone who has had a massive impact on my life, both on and off the yoga mat. Lisa is an incredibly gifted yoga instructor and hosts local and international yoga retreats. In fact, she was the very first person to introduce me to yoga over a decade ago, and I've been lucky enough to join her on most of her magical retreats ever since. But beyond her calming voice and yoga instructions, Lisa is someone who deeply understands the hidden struggles of dry eye. When we first met, I had no idea we shared this connection until one day we started talking like we do, and I realized quickly she was carrying a story that so many women could relate to. Her journey with dry eye is raw, real, and incredibly powerful. And today she's opening up in a way I know will make you feel seen, supported, and a little less alone. So, welcome, my dear. I am so excited you're here. Let's get this conversation started. So, thank you, Lisa, for joining me.
Oh my
And
God, babe. Thank you. I feel so like,
yeah,
who are you talking about in that intro? Because that didn't sound like me, but man, I'll take it. Thank you.
oh, that was easy. That's easy.
Oh,
I mean, and this is the thing. Today we were just chatting. It's like we've had so many of these kinds of conversations,
hmm
and I always feel like you and I have the best chats when it comes to sharing things, everything from like health, beauty, wellness to deep conversations about life, kids, all the things. So
hmm
this is kind of fun that we're able to share it on a platform that would potentially help some people. So again, this is dry eye focused, but I think like everything, you veer off into different directions when it comes to
Yes.
topics. And so we'll start just by, even for you and your dry eye journey, where it began, where you are now,
Oh,
and
wow.
kind of take it from there.
Okay. Well, I think I noticed. Well, let's start by saying this. I didn't know it was dry eye. So in high school, I was prescribed glasses, and I immediately wanted to wear contacts because, wasn't cool wearing glasses in high school. I didn't want to be that nerdy girl. So,
Yeah.
anyways, got introduced to my first pair of contacts. Had no problem with poking my eye with my finger. But more often than not, I found myself with like my eyes just feeling really dry. So I was advised to just put eye drops, and I thought that was normal. Like I thought everyone who wore contacts, like this was just the side effect of having to wear contacts. And I was like, well, you know, in the name of vanity, I will suffer through it and just do it because I gotta wear those contacts. And I
Mhm.
still remember days, like by the end of the day, if I had them on all day, that I felt like I was tearing the contact off my
Mm.
eyeball. Like that's how dry my eyes were.
Mm.
Again, so we're going years now. That's just part and parcel of my life. And then over a decade ago, I decided to get laser eye surgery because I
Mhm.
was tired of wearing contact lenses that were so uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So had the surgery, everything went well. I was advised that it may dry out my eyes. Um,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay. So again, eye drops. I carry eye drops with me all the time. So they're in every purse, they're in my washroom, I have in my office. Again, thinking this is normal. So I have eye drops everywhere. So on a whim, if I start to feel like my eyes are getting dry, I'll just put some drops in.
Mhm.
So it wasn't until after I'd healed from that surgery, I could see perfectly. So I was really, really happy.
Mhm.
Um, but I would start to get this feeling of like, the best way to describe it is like sandpaper rubbing against my eye.
Yep.
So, when you feel like you got something in your eye and you're like, oh
Yep.
God, I got something, and then you take it out. Well, it wouldn't matter what I did, it wouldn't leave.
Yes.
So it was this constant scratching feeling. Um, I guess the dryness I had gotten used to, so that didn't even bother me anymore. It was this scratchiness that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like I'd be worried that something was actually cutting my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Never anything, never anything there. So I remember when I went to a follow-up, I was told this was just, one doctor said this was just a side effect again of the laser eye surgery. And then when I went to another optometrist, I don't know if it was some type of specialist, because it was the first time he had said to me something about my tear ducts
Mm-hmm.
not producing enough tears, which I thought was funny because I'm like, if you know me, I can
Mm-hmm.
cry. Like the wind blows the wrong way and I can cry. So I was like, I don't know if that's a right diagnosis because I can create tears no problem, but clearly I wasn't understanding what they were saying. And I also learned that when I blink, I don't fully blink. So my eyes don't fully close. So I'm not able to produce enough water, tears, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, in my tear duct. So that's when I finally got, I guess, diagnosed
Yeah.
with dry eye. And it was during that time that you and I had met. And I was so like
Yeah.
freaked out because you know how we don't believe in coincidences, right? But
Yeah.
I had never heard of dry eye. And then all of a sudden you and I are talking and you're like this dry eye girl. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh my God,
So
I felt so seen.
yeah, well, that's it, right? And it can be an everyday thing. Like you're explaining it, every room you have eye drops and you feel it every day and it's an everyday thing. So based on that, did the doctor give you any sort of protocol to follow aside from using eye drops
Yes.
to
So
help?
this one doctor gave me exercises that I was supposed to do.
Okay.
And if you ask me to repeat what they are, I don't remember because I didn't do any of them.
And this is the thing. It's hard to stay, like you already have a million habit stacking happening,
Yep.
right? Add this into the mix.
Yeah. And
That's
again,
gonna
I
get.
may have tried. I may have tried once or twice,
Mhm.
but then he also gave me a sleeping mask. Like, so it's
Mhm.
not a mask that you can order on Amazon. It's specifically like medical grade mask I had to tape to the back of my head. It was a little bit heavy, like I felt like there was sand in it.
Mhm.
Um, and I was advised to sleep with that to help keep my eyes shut.
Mhm.
And again, I tried, but
Mhm.
it was so uncomfortable. And back then I wasn't much of a back sleeper. I am now. But the second
Mhm.
I would turn on my side, it would like shift and then I'd wake up and I'd have to take it out.
Mhm.
And then you add menopause to the mix where my sleep is already
Mhm.
getting interrupted. So you give me anything else that's going to affect my sleep. No, thank you.
I
So
know.
I was like, I'm just going to resort to my eye drops and just suck it up.
Yeah. How is it right now for you?
Some days are better than others. I do notice, and this was on your advice. We were talking
Mhm.
makeup.
Yeah.
And
Well,
remember, I was saying, like, I love the look when I line my water line. It looks so much
mhm.
better in pictures. And you're like, well, be careful with that because that with dry eye is
It's
not such a
great.
great idea. And now I notice that if I put eyeliner on my water line,
Mhm.
I get that scratching feeling as if like there's a knife slicing my eye. So
Isn't that
again,
crazy?
yeah, but because
I
I know
know.
now, it's like
Mhm.
if I'm going out, it's like a sacrifice. I'm like, okay, I know this is going to happen. I got to make sure my drops are with me, but I want to put my makeup on that way.
Mhm.
Which I
Mhm.
know sounds so vain and ridiculous, but it's just
No,
like
but it's a thing,
it's
and
yeah.
I think about women because this is the other thing. Like you have dry eye, I have dry eye, and but other women that may not know they have dry eye or don't have it, I think it's still important for the awareness piece because ultimately you could get to a point where you can't really tolerate makeup. And they are making a lot of advancements in this space, but it's still early days. There's still, I know that there's makeup lines out now, but they're still not perfect for everyone, right? And so you want to kind of give this awareness to people to be like, okay, it does matter. And you want to, at the first sign of a gritty feeling or not being able to tolerate your contact lenses, start to pay attention because dry eye gets worse over time. And then it could lead to the fact that you can't wear makeup. Like, do you find that you're taking makeup breaks here and there now, like on a weekend or whenever you're at home? Like, if you're
It doesn't
not.
affect. So I will say that I'm very picky about the makeup that I use. So I usually try to use, especially for my eyeliner and mascara. If I find something that feels good, I
Mhm.
stick with the brand. So it doesn't have to be an expensive brand, but for the most part, they're vegan. I know
What
that.
are you currently using? Just it may
I
change,
use
right?
I use
So,
L'Oreal
yep.
Panorama on my for my eyelashes.
Yep.
and I'm using, it's a Sephora brand
Mm-hmm.
for my eyeliner. Again,
Okay.
that's my everyday use.
Is it
My
liquid liner or penciled?
No, just pencil. It's like a
Yeah.
gel eyeliner.
Nice.
For my
Okay.
waterline, it is a I forget though. I haven't done it in such a long time. I think it's
I'm in your
Essence.
head.
I know. I
Is
think
what?
it's Essence, which is like it's a cheap shopper's brand,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is not tested on animals and it's vegan and it's just like it works. I can't explain it. So I'm not out there advocating any brands. It's just like I test all kinds of stuff and if it
Yeah.
works,
If it
I
feels
stick
good.
with it. Yeah, it
And
feels good.
I truly believe too, that's with everything. It's not like one diet fits all. It's not like
Right.
one makeup fits all. You really have to, we're all so different and what we react to are so different. I'm a very sensitive person, so if I, try something, even when I was formulating a makeup back in the day, and you were
I
part of
remember,
that
yes.
journey. And even that one, which had all the goodies that you're supposed to have for dry eye, I reacted to. So we had to reformulate and change it
Oh
because
no.
there's certain things that can cause allergies that can even be considered clean or vegan or what have you. So it's interesting and it's almost trial and error, right? With
Yeah,
what
yeah,
works for sure.
yeah. And that's the
Mhm.
thing. I have to be there. Oh, and that's another thing I do not wear anymore is powdered eyeshadow. Because God
No.
help me, I get a speckle of dust on my eye. It would ruin my whole makeup application.
I
So,
love that you don't wear that. Like,
yeah.
I definitely wanted, I was looking through some of the things that I had done in the past, and I did um, a weekend course at Sheridan College on how to do your own makeup because it's specific. I can't tell you how to do yours, but your face is
Right,
obviously
right, right.
different than mine. Your style is different. And I was looking at the different cream liners that they have now. There's so many that are amazing. What's the brand that you use for your eyeline or your
Eyeshadow,
powder? Yeah, your shadow.
it's Sephora.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
here's the thing
I
with
use
Sephora,
MAC.
which is great. But this is,
It doesn't
I was
creep
talking
into
to
my
some
eyes.
Sephora sales lady who, like, I love people who are like brutally honest. And at the time, I was looking for skincare and I was
Hmm.
looking at this expensive brand, and she brought me over to the Sephora brand, right? And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, yeah, it sounds great. And I'm like, why is it so cheap? Like compared to the other stuff, right? Because I'm like, I'm not, when it comes to my eyes and my face, I'm not interested in like bargaining. You know what I mean? Like I'll
Totally.
get a deal in clothing and whatever, but my face,
Hmm.
especially my eyes, I'm not going to chance it. And she
Hmm.
said that with the Sephora brand, it's made in Europe. There's no middleman. So they are able to sell it
Hmm.
at a cheaper cost because they're manufacturing it themselves and bringing it right over without all the, I don't know, the logistics behind it. But I was like, oh, okay. So I started with the skincare and tried it and really liked it, and then moved to their eyeliner
Hmm.
and the cream shadows, which again, I'll only wear, I teach hot yoga, as you had mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
So I'm sweating all the time. So for me, it's about like makeup that stays put, less is more. So my
Hmm.
everyday wear is literally just eyeliner on the outside of my eye with mascara
Hmm.
and not waterproof mascara
No,
because it's too much rubbing
too
of
hard
the
to get
eye.
off.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of lashes,
Mhm.
no fake lashes.
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
Had you wore them in the past though?
Hmm. Yep.
Um, and were they the extensions or was it just like false? You glue
I've
them
done
on?
both. First of
Both.
all, I
Yeah.
can't properly apply false lashes, so I get my
Yeah.
daughter to do that when she's around. So I was like, I want to try the lash extensions.
Hmm.
Oh my God, I wanted to pull my eyes. Like I
I wore
wanted to
them,
pull them off my
I
eyes.
think it was just before I met you, and I had wore them because I was doing triathlons for a summer. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm just gonna wear fake lashes and whatever. And I wasn't quite diagnosed with dry eye, but my eyes were brutal. I was the girl that had the massive reaction to the glue, probably the third apply, and it was a disaster, a total
No.
disaster. So I had to like obviously get them removed and have go through a whole process of getting the inflammation down. And this
Of
is
course you
again,
did. Of
well,
course you did, Ange. Why am I not surprised?
yeah,
But
yeah,
after the
yeah.
third application?
It was after the third application. I think I had a reaction to the glue. I at the time was around eye doctors too, and they're like, "Oh, I hate that you're wearing fake lashes." Not to say you can't wear them, but you really have to clean them and take care of them. And that's for another episode for sure. But and it also changes. I know Dr. Perryman would talk about this. It changes the actual length and basically your lash blink line gets longer. And so it's something to do with the fact that your eyes need a specific amount of lash length. And if it's too long, they no longer do their job properly. And that actually contributes to dry eye as well. So it's
Really?
not just the glue and all of the chemicals that way. It's actually the lash length. And that's the other thing about even growing your lashes a lot longer. It can actually change the way that your eyes feel. And if you weren't prone to dry eye, you could potentially be prone to it after that. So
Interesting. So we're
yeah,
creating a whole generation of dry eyes because
thousand
all these
percent.
young girls, my daughter included, constantly wears fake lashes. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to warn
There's
her
so much
against
going
it.
on there. There's also,
Question. Sorry, I have a
yes,
question for you. Is it genetic dry
dry eye.
eye?
Great question. Um, if I think about it, potentially, I don't know if I've ever come across a study, but I know that if you think about if it's linked to your gut health and there's a lot that you get from your mom through,
Hmm.
your gut health. I've learned a lot about that, even the type of birth you had and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So potentially, but here's the other thing. When you think about like the next generation coming up, we didn't grow up with screens like this, right? And screens definitely contribute to having dry eye. You're not getting the same sort of eye rest or break, and your glands, your meibomian glands that secrete oil, you're not blinking as often. So your eyes are starting to evaporate, the tears are starting to
Mm.
evaporate quicker. And so you're seeing more and more younger people having dry eye earlier than before. Like when you were experiencing it when you first started wearing contact lenses, I had the same experience too. And I was in my 20s and I wasn't on screens then,
Same.
not even close
I
to the
did
same
not have,
way.
I mean, I'm aging myself, but I didn't have a cell phone in high school. So
No,
there
exactly.
was none of
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's important to pay attention to now because I feel like there's an epidemic coming of
Oh
this,
God.
and overall it can damage your eyes. You can get to a point where you're getting chronic infections if your dry eye gets really bad, visual fluctuations. So you want to be aware and start to pay attention to that from an eye health
Hmm.
perspective. There's
Okay.
there's a rule called the 20-20-20 where if you're looking at screens, take every 20 minutes, take a break and look at something 20 feet away. And then, from a 20-20-20 perspective, you
Is
can
it
close
20
your eyes for
seconds?
10 seconds.
My optometrist is very particular about this. I remember when I took my kids for an eye doctor appointment the first time,
Yeah.
and he said this, and they were like rolling their eyes because they were young teens, and he was
Mm-hmm.
very specific about the screen
Mm-hmm.
time. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I learned that from him about the 20-20-20. So every 20
It's,
minutes,
yeah.
look away, 20 feet away for
Yeah.
20 seconds or something like that. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
a good
Exactly. And even
reminder. I
closing
need
your
that.
eyes for 20 seconds is kind of like nice. You kind of feel a soothing process too. So I do that
Yeah,
as well.
that's another thing I find when I
Mhm.
get tired. And again, this might just be from being tired. But
Yeah.
just that, like what you just did, just this process of closing my eyes, like at first it burns because
Hmm.
it's almost like the eyes are and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, that feels better. I'm good.
That's the oil.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
like the self lubrication of the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that it feels really good.
Yeah. No, it would. It would. And it's good. It sounds like you have a really good eye doctor too, because I would say, 10, 15 years ago, they weren't really treating a lot of dry eye. And if they were, they didn't have a lot of tools in their toolbox, right? Now it's changed. There's a lot more pharmaceutical agents that help with like being an anti-inflammatory. They also have in-office procedures too that you can get if you have issues with oil glands, which generally, I would say 80% of dry eye is because of the meibomian glands, and you're not producing enough oil, so it's kind of evaporating off of your lids. You were saying you're not producing enough tears. That's in a combination of that too.
Okay.
So you've got kind of a double whammy going on. And they have, I was recently listening to a lecture about they now have a filler where before they would put punctal plugs in, and now they have a filler that they would fill your like punctal plug or your plug so that you can keep your tears longer on your eyes. So
Oh my
whether that, I
God.
don't know if it's been approved yet, at least not in Canada, but that'll probably be something around the corner. And it's usually a cornea specialist or ophthalmologist that can do that procedure too.
Interesting.
So yeah, we'll see that down the
That
pipeline as
scares me
well.
though. I mean,
So
I'm sure once it's,
anything filler around your eyes terrifies me.
yeah, yeah, like
Mhm.
it's something that I wouldn't even consider because
No.
it's your eyes. And I think when we've
Mhm.
talked about this before, right? Like we
Mhm.
take for granted, like we take our eyes for granted. Like
Mhm.
we just, you know what I mean? Like even sometimes when I'm
Until
washing
something
off my
goes
makeup,
wrong.
pardon,
Mhm.
until something goes
Until
wrong.
something goes wrong.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine not being able to use my eyes.
I
So,
know. It's
um,
everything.
and I find myself more like self-aware, especially when I can start to feel like if I'm that itching, that sandy feeling, I'm like, oh shoot, what did I do? And I retrace my steps. Like, what did I do wrong? 9 out of 10 times it's makeup. I think the last time I tried, because I still had like powder shadows. I mean, I didn't throw all my makeup out,
No.
but oh, it was one with like little sparkles. It was I was going to an event, right? A little bit of glitter, not glitter,
Yes.
but it was like a little bit of shimmer. I don't know, it's
Yeah. It
whatever,
has mica. Yeah.
something of it. And then all night, oh, I went to go watch a show. All
Yeah.
night, I was like pulling at my, doing that thing where I'm like lifting and pulling, and then
Mm-hmm.
taking my finger, like making sure my finger was clean, and then literally with my pinky finger,
Oh.
rubbing it all over my eye, and then
Oh,
like to make sure there was nothing in it, because
of
I'm like, oh
course.
my God, it feels like, everyone's had that feeling that you got your eyelash in your eye.
Yes.
Okay, we'll double that and make it
Yeah.
constant
Oh, I know.
for
I
the whole
know.
show. And I was like, oh my God, was it
Oh.
worth the glitter on my eyelids? No.
And do you normally, before you put, exactly, before you put your eye makeup on, do you do tears? Like, do you do eye drops first? And then, like, let it kind of settle and then put your makeup on?
When
Because
I
that
remember,
generally helps.
sometimes.
Yeah,
When I
that
remember, other
generally helps.
times it's like I'm halfway through trying to do my eyes and I'm like, oh, got to get the eye drops.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it becomes a hot mess because it
Mm,
drips down my face. And I'm just like,
I know.
yeah, again, things that others don't have to worry about, that it's like,
No.
yeah, it's a constant issue. Like, it's not the end of the world, right?
No.
But it's
No.
annoying.
It's a quality of life thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like life is just, it's a nuisance that you've normalized it, but you can actually do things in order to make it better. You've coined it down to your makeup. There's probably other, things that you could incorporate. The fact that you don't have a full blink, I have the same problem. And so at night, what I do is I'm not at all consistent with wearing an eye mask, and it was just a silk one because that wasn't disruptive to my sleep. To your point, sleep is very important even for dry eye. But I would have a humidifier. I do have a humidifier in my room. I
Okay.
love the white noise of it, to be
Okay.
honest. And like this humidifier that I use, it's got a filter, so I love that. You basically change out the filter. Um, I think it's every other month, and it's a great one, and that has helped me at night because I have
Really?
that slight gap. My
Okay.
eyes don't fully close either, and
Okay. Send
that's
me the one you have. Send
common.
me details of
No, I
that one.
will for sure. I will
Okay.
for sure. And then even, the Bruder mask is what I think you had, and that has almost like I forget the material that it's made of, but you can heat it up, put it in the microwave for
Yeah.
20
It's like a
seconds.
magic bag type of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
exactly for your body. And that's great. I love that one. I'm gonna try it. I got another one that's called Blink Joy. That's the company name, and it's I think the second generation, and it's an eye mask where it actually just heats up. You don't have to put it in the microwave or any of that kind of stuff, and it's like temperature controlled and all these gadgets. So when it arrives, I will share that with you and
Oh,
let you know
yes,
how it goes.
please.
Because that in itself, like I could picture you doing this where let's say you're meditating in the morning or
Yes.
your morning routine includes that or your evening routine includes that and having a mask like that on, which is easy because it's,
Yes.
self-heating.
Yes.
That would probably be something that you could get used to, and that will help get those oil glands going
See,
too.
that sounds like something
Like
I could wrap my
comfort.
head around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's like one little thing, and then over time add another one. I mean, whenever we chat nutrition, I'm like, I don't think your issue is nutrition when it comes to dry eye, that's for sure. Because it's everything that you do right, right? Like it's, Mediterranean diet, um, having healthy omegas. So that really helps nip inflammation systemically, as you know. A plant-based diet or more plentiful diet, which is big time what you do.
Mhm.
Um, what I was going to do this summer, we can do a challenge together, is you know how there's a farmer's market usually every Saturday or Sunday around us somewhere. I'm going to stock up on like 20 different types of vegetables. I've never done this before, but I want to do it.
Okay.
And basically blend them in like a food processor and do like eight, let's say like eight, eight, and eight. So whatever the math is on that, I'll have three different types of mixed vegetables that I'll chop up and I'll like put in a baggie and freeze. And
Okay.
so if I'm cooking in like the morning and I'm doing eggs or a soup or whatever, I'll add one of the baggies in so that you get a
I
variety of
love
different
that.
diets. And then it'll help with gut diversity big time when it comes to,
Yeah.
incorporating healthy, diverse vegetables. Because that's what I don't do. I eat a ton of vegetables, but it's the same like four broccoli,
Okay.
asparagus. I'm very like
Same.
sometimes green beans, but like, and then obviously all the lettuces. But I would love to do that where I switch it up a bit and do ones that I normally wouldn't have, right? Like
Yes.
different species of mushrooms or, different. I don't do eggplant very often or anything like that.
Oh,
So
I
incorporating
got
that in,
I'll send you a jar of my mom's marinated eggplant.
I would love that. I would
So
love
good.
that. And
I
that's the
find I
thing,
eat
like
more
mixing it up.
like a variety of vegetables in the summer, which I think it's a great idea to do it in the summer because
Yeah.
you can naturally grow some in your own backyard or like you said, the farmer's market. But I will give you a nice
Mm.
little hack that's helped me.
Yes, I love this.
Costco sells
Yeah.
this bag of they're called fire. I'll send you the picture. Fire roasted grilled veggies.
Okay.
They're already grilled, but they're frozen. So all you need to do is put them in a pan. You don't even, I add avocado oil. That's what it recommends
Love
for
that.
less than 5 minutes. And it has all the like pepper, squash. I think there's cauliflower, zucchini. I think there's eggplant, like all the vegetables that I love,
Hmm.
but I don't have the patience to like cut
Exactly.
and grill and do all that stuff. So, and what's great about it is in a pinch, right? Like we always have protein
You have
handy
a
because you and I
variety.
have talked about this, right? We work out
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, I need to get my vegetables in other than just a salad.
Hmm.
Um, and you throw a couple of like cups of that in the pan, and in 5 minutes it's done, and it's actually delicious.
I
So,
love that. I'm
farmers
gonna get
market's a great idea, but
that.
have that on the side, just on the days where like if you haven't had a chance to stock up on making your Ziploc baggies, that's there as
Totally.
your like savior. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that for sure. The other kind of pillar I always think about is like the lifestyle piece around like stress. How do we reduce stress in an era of time where we're like perimenopausal and hormones are all over and you know both of us have more adult kids and it's supposed to be this peaceful time and I mean for the most part it is but there's like for me if my hormones are off balance I notice my dry eye and then I also notice my level of stress is like not the way I used to be, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
resilience it's a little harder to achieve. And I know, we've talked about this too. Like there's times where you can handle it really well and you can't. What are your like go-to hacks for this? Obviously, yoga and meditation are such an important staple. Is there anything else that you kind of have as a ritual that you'd want to
Yeah.
share?
What I'm noticing helps lately. So I'm really into podcasts,
Mm.
self-help books. I'm always wanting to
Yes.
better myself, right? But
Yeah.
what I've noticed lately is in times when I'm really stressed,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want I don't want to be schooled. I don't want any more tips and tricks and how to be better. I'm like overwhelmed with all
Yeah.
the do-gooders and be
Mm-hmm.
betters and this um toxic positivity. Like it just and it's
Yes.
funny because it's I'm menopausal, so I'm moody. So
Mm.
other times I want it, but in times of stress, as weird as this sounds, what helps is reading or audiobooks of like fiction, taking a
Mm-hmm.
walk, sometimes
Mm.
even without my dogs, because sometimes the dogs like they're pulling and
Yeah.
this, and then if I'm stressed, I find myself more irritable. So if
Yeah.
I'm being completely honest, when I need to like decompress, if the yoga and the meditation isn't enough, I
Mm-hmm.
put on a audiobook, like some fiction, fairy tale land, and I go out for a walk,
Mm-hmm.
and and that being in nature or being near water, we live near the lake, um, really grounds me and helps get me settled.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, because
I love, yeah.
sometimes meditation, I go through phases, and I'm in a non-meditation phase right now.
Yeah, I'm the
So
same. I'm
yeah,
not consistent with
sometimes
it.
it's every
Yep.
morning. That's what I do. I wake up. Um, right now, it's just not in my routine. I'm waking up early to work out, so I'd have to wake up even earlier. And let's be real, I don't want to wake up before 5:30 in the morning.
Exactly. I think that's what happened to me too, is my workout routine shifted to the morning, and then that has like what I was doing, 6 months ago doesn't work anymore. So, yeah,
And I
I
think part of us growing up is realizing that that's okay.
it is okay.
I no
It is
longer
okay.
beat myself up for it being like, oh, people are
No.
going to think I'm less of a person because here I am, this yoga instructor who isn't, meditating every morning to start my day. And I'm like, yeah, no, not right now. It's not happening. And I know I feel better when I do, but right
Hmm.
now I'm not making the time for it. And I know I will again when I'm
Hmm.
ready. But if I make that another thing that I have to do and check off, I'm going to add more stress, and that's counterproductive,
Oh, exactly. Exactly. It's like now I'm burning myself out with self-help.
right? It's like, oh no, shit, I can't go relax now because I have to go meditate. Like,
Right?
it's defeating the purpose of
It
meditation.
it totally is. It totally
And the
is.
yoga definitely helps. Like that, I'm on my
Mm.
mat daily, whether I'm teaching,
Yeah.
or even if it's just a few minutes to move my body.
Hmm.
Um, that really, really helps. But I've had to find another outlet, as you know,
Hmm.
hence the walking and the reading, listening to these audiobooks, because I was injured and I couldn't do yoga. So then
Yep.
it's like, now what? And that was increasing my
No.
stress,
I
right?
know. I
When
know.
working out in yoga is your outlet, and then
Yes.
you can't do that because you're injured, it's like, okay, well now I have to pivot. So what else
Well,
can I do?
that happened to me, right? Like I love yoga, but you and I talked about this. I have um spondylolisthesis, so my spine is shifted forward. And so if I do too much yoga, it actually is really painful on my back. So I've had to adjust, the frequency of it, and I will do it, and then I will do it for a while, and then all of a sudden I'm kind of like right now just doing strength training because that's working for my body and stretching, kind of sports
Hmm.
stretching. And then I'll get back into the flow of it again. But I tried to do it the other day and I'm like, oh, yeah,
Right away. Yeah.
it's not ready. And
No, then
so
you
I
got to
just have
listen
to
to your
honor
body,
it. Yeah.
right? This is what we're
Mhm.
preaching. So if
Yeah.
we're not practicing what we preach, then we're not being authentic.
Yeah, for sure. You know
So
what else I love, and you shared this with me? I have it. It's the daily journal. Who's the author of that one again?
Robin Sharma, the 5 Minute Journal, is
That
it?
one also, you are my guru actually. That one, but the one that you read in yoga class, especially early days when I met you, it was
It was Robin Sharma Daily Inspiration is what I used to read. And then, oh, I know Rachel Hollis, right? That was the
mhm.
one I think I shared on the retreat. I was in that era. Um,
Yes.
but it was the gratitude journal where you write what you're grateful for, three things
Yes.
you're grateful for, and then was it at the end of the day? You write something that you're grateful for that hasn't happened yet,
Hmm.
and then yeah, the again, that's another thing I haven't been doing is journaling.
Well,
Um,
and maybe after this, it kind of will inspire us to do it again.
yeah, it'd
Because
be a little.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? It would be nice to get into that practice again. And I remember you introduced me to that practice, and it really, you have seasons, right? Like it
Yeah.
really worked at that time for me.
What
And
I
like,
will say, and I'm going to say this to inspire both of us,
hmm
if I had to choose between meditation and journaling, I shouldn't have to choose. I should be able to do both. But journaling is really, really great because what I have found in the past is when I'm
hmm
going through like low points in my life,
hmm
I'll go back and read my journals, and you're reading the story of your life. There's so many
hmm
things that you forget, right?
Totally.
The highs and the lows, and you're like, oh my God, I thought that was bad.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I forgot that this actually happened. Or I remember a time when I just posted this morning where it's a privilege to be in spaces you once thought were out of reach. Because I'll read things that I used to write, like, I
Yeah.
can't wait one day to do a retreat across the world.
Exactly. And here
And
you
here I
are.
can be writing, being like, oh yeah, I was in Costa Rica yesterday and this is what we did.
This is
Right. So
amazing.
that's
Hmm
that's the motivation for that. And also because eventually one day I'd like to write a book. And it would be a lot easier if I could just go back to my journal entries and pull from there. Right.
Absolutely.
Um,
It is beautiful. And I find too, if I am journaling, it kind of like parks it, right? Like it gives it a place to live and not have
yes.
to be in your head anymore,
Yes.
which is kind of lovely. That was what I really got from it when I was religious with it. And it really made me think, especially like the grateful, being grateful, because I feel like that's been like also overdone. But when you're really thinking about it and you really get to write that stuff down, and I don't know, it does connect with like being grateful for where you are now, thinking of where you were 5 years ago, and
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
that kind
And
of
even
affect.
that little part, like the writing something you're grateful for that hasn't happened,
Mm-hmm.
watching that stuff come to fruition is stuff literally that's given me goosebumps. Right? Because
Totally.
and that's if you believe, I don't want to get too woo woo, but when you believe in this manifestation stuff, and it's like when you
hmm
write it down,
Yeah.
just like you said, you've given it a place to land. And
Yeah.
now you've got like, it's out there in the universe. But the beauty of it too is that you get to like be like, look, like I
Mm.
look on this, I actually wrote this. This shit is
Yeah.
true. It
Yeah.
works, right?
And then
So
you're like, this is a proven science, and I
yeah.
agree. We're in it together. You and I are very much we're science and woo. Sounds like
Yes.
a big tribe that we're a part of. But
I love
yeah,
it.
no,
I
I
love
love
the
that
tribe.
too. I love that so much. I know, and it comes down to too, like, and that's why I love going on your retreats is they become one of those resets for me where
Mm,
life's busy and I find I do them quarterly. I'm in a weird stage right
I
now,
love
but the
it.
last one I did with you was in Tulum last year, and it was amazing reset. And I always find them so good for like that. Again, like it's everything. It's you're in a community of people that are like-minded, which is awesome. And then you have a reset where you leave this vacation feeling great and healthy, which is my favorite part because I used to travel and not feel great coming back. I always feel great coming back from your retreats. And then spiritually connected again,
Mm,
where, you know, a little more grounded, a little bit more like ready to take on the world. And
I
that
love
is such
that.
a gift. That
Thank
is
you.
such
I love that because that
a
is the intention, right?
yeah, yeah.
Is for people to, whether it's like a 1 day weekend or a week like you did
Mhm.
with us in Tulum. Well, it was 5 days in Tulum.
Mhm.
Um,
A
but
week in Costa
still,
Rica. That was
and a
amazing.
week in Costa Rica, yes, the year
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and listen, I love the fact for me, it's great that people need to get away to do it, right? Because,
Mhm.
but it's stuff we could do on our own. But I think taking you out of your environment
Mhm.
is really, really important um, to help you, like you said, with a reset. It's like
Mhm.
I'm not one for a staycation. Like, and you know this about me. If
Yeah.
I don't have something planned, I'm not taking time off work.
No, I
Like to
don't
do
do it
what?
either.
Clean my house?
I
No,
know.
thank you. Like I'll get to it eventually, but that's not going to recharge me and
No.
make me feel better when I get back or like well
Exactly.
rested, right? Whereas with these retreats, um,
Mhm.
and as you know, we will go a little earlier and we try to stay back a little bit later so that we can have our time to like get grounded and reset and hit the
Mhm.
pause button. Because I mean, as much fun as our retreats are, we are working.
It's a lot of work. Of course it is. You are. I see
People laugh
that.
at me when I'm like, yeah, my job requires me to go to Costa Rica and Mexico and, just going to this place and that. But I mean, hey, that's the
That
life
was the dream. Yeah.
that's what I was grateful for. That's what I was writing
Mhm.
down when it hadn't actually happened. I was like, I'm grateful for living a life
Yep.
and working that doesn't, or I don't know how I would put it, but like doing something that I look forward to waking up to every morning that doesn't feel like work, right?
I
And
love
here we
that.
are, right?
Well,
So
that's it. That's the dream. It is loving what you do. And yeah, you feel that there, right? You guys, you create such a beautiful space for everyone. And I do. I love it. I find that it's such a great reset. And just like this, I'm trying to create awareness and let people know. And something's awesome you want to share with your girlfriend, right?
I
And so,
love that you're doing this, babe. I'm really, really proud
mhm,
of you. Like, I know
mhm.
you've been talking about it for a while. And
Yeah,
again, we've known each other now over a decade. I can't believe it's been
yeah,
that long, but
yeah,
I remember you talking back then about wanting to do something, and then it was more of like not really sure of what direction it was going to go in, or
yeah.
whatever the case may be. But I commend you that you've been consistent in wanting to find out what it is that grows that fire in you.
Yeah.
That
Well,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I find like with this topic in particular, it won't let me go. I've been entrenched in it for a very long time. And like this piece, I'm like, it's really important. There's a lot happening in dry eye that for sure the general public doesn't know is happening. And I think it would be great for people to have almost like a soft landing. I've said that before, but a place. I've seen other women create podcasts for exactly that. It's like a place for women to come to learn and to share. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really what this is. And I think that if it touches at least one person, it's done its job. And that's the goal of all of this is, and also to have a creative outlet. I think that was it was probably something that I discovered in Tulum. I'm like, I need to do something that's creative, that feels good, that's about connection, and that's about, serving in some capacity. Because,
I love it.
yeah, I think that a big part of why we're here is to serve. And so it feels good to do
Yeah,
that.
and I think it's really important because bringing
Mhm.
awareness is so crucial because I mean, let's be real. I don't know any person who has dry eye other than you. No one
Mhm.
talks about dry eye,
Mhm.
right? So until you
And what's
acknowledged it, I was like, "What?
I know, and
That's an actual thing?"
what is crazy too is, and that's another thing is every time, because my handle's obviously dry eye girlfriend, and every time I have a conversation with someone, they're like, well, what would be dry eye? What are the signs and symptoms? And so when I say things like, well, watering eyes are dry eye, it shocks people, and they're like, hang on, I
Mm.
have watery eyes, and I didn't realize that was dry eye. And anyway, it's interesting because, and I have these conversations with doctors all the time. They say over 50% of patients that come in to see an eye doctor have dry eye. Over 50%.
Wow.
And
That's a huge number.
it's a huge number. And a lot of people are not even going to an eye doctor. If they
Mm.
don't need glasses, they won't go generally for a checkup. There needs to be work around that with regard to even access, because if your third party coverage does you don't have third party coverage, or your third party coverage doesn't cover enough, people won't go. But like I always compare it to dental. There's lots of dental coverage, even now from
Mm.
a government perspective, but our eyes are being somewhat neglected too. So again, that's a whole other thing that they're working on. And there's a lot of things happening with eye care and eye health that I think are so important. And it's funny because I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 20 years. And when I started in eye care, which was 12, 14 years ago, I had no idea how busy those are the busiest doctors. Ophthalmologists are the busiest doctors, and it's not just
Really?
obviously dry eye, it's everything. And I was shocked to see that. And so as someone that can share that insight, it's kind of it's a gift to be able to be like, when on my dry eye journey, it was so different. I had like access to world leaders and I was diagnosed by like the global expert in dry
Wow.
eye. And I had all of these tests done and I've had all of these, in office procedures done because I have that kind of privilege. And then when I think about it, I'm like, it'd be awesome to be able to share that with my girlfriends and just women
Hmm.
across, right? So,
Well,
yeah.
keep doing what you're doing, babe, because I love
Yeah,
it.
it's no, it's great, and I'm so happy you're on the journey with me. You've always been, but you are a dry eye girlfriend,
Yay.
creating this fun community. I know. So thank you again so much for being on Dry Eye Girlfriend. And Lisa, if people want to get in touch with you or connect with you, what are the best ways for them to find you or reach out to you?
Thank you for asking that. I am very active on Instagram, on social media. So I have my personal business account at Lisa P Yoga. And you can also find me under our retreat business, and that's Soulfull Yoga Wellness, also on Instagram. We do have a website, and yeah, I guess that would be the best way. I'm on it all the time. So DM, message, and that's it. Yeah.
That's great. No, I know if anyone has the opportunity, do so. I've been on many of those retreats, as you guys know, and they are such an amazing experience, actually life-changing. So
Oh,
thank
thanks,
you
babe.
again.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for having me on. I can't wait for this to go public and for more awareness to get out there. So, thank you
Yay.
for letting me be a part of this journey with you. I love it.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for tuning in to Dry Eye Girlfriend, where beauty, wellness, and science come together to support your eyes and your life. If today's episode helped you feel seen, gave you that aha moment, or just made you feel a little more understood, share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps more women find this space and feel less alone on their dry eye journey. Remember, dry eye isn't just something to deal with, it's something you can manage with the right support, smart choices, and a little girlfriend guidance. I'll be back soon with more real talk, expert tips, and conversations that keep your eyes and spirit feeling bright. See you next time.